Hey guys, welcome to accounting. Today we're going to be doing problem 1-5A. Now you need to be aware that this is going to be a summative assessment because it will be a culminating activity for everything we have done so far in accounting for this 9 weeks. So if you look at your module, I'm going to start today. Again, you know, we've got our what you'll learn today. You have your learning objectives there. You also have a discussion question that you'll need to do. Always start in the module and work from the top down. You have your, before you begin your assignment, you have the instructions, which is this video that you're watching now. You have your preparing financial statements, and that is just help to remind you how these are done. We have that there. Then the next thing you have is you have problem 1-5A, analyzing transactions. Now this is going to be a little bit different since this is a summative assessment, but I wanted to go through it with you to make sure you understood what you needed to do. The first thing you're going to do is something that you're very familiar with. It's recording transactions in an expanded form. So you are going to do this. I'm going to scroll on down here. You have a company called Jeff Edwards CPA. He just started his company on September 1st of 2020, and you have a list of 15 transactions that you will prepare on your transaction form. Now notice that there are different ones. His initial investment, several expenses. He has made investments in office supplies and office equipment. He is paying checks for personal bills. Be aware that that is drawing. He's taking it out for personal use, so remember that's a withdrawal. Also, pay attention for when you have something like number 12 here, that you have a transaction that is based on a previous transaction. Make sure you always go back to the previous transaction to see what originally happened. Same thing on transaction number 13, and same thing on transaction 15. So make sure you go back to the original transaction to see what transpired so you know how to treat the current transaction. So let's get started on this. The form to use is problem 1-5A, so click the link to open the document. And notice that you will automatically copy the document now. So click Make a Copy, and then you will see Copy of Problem 1-5A Transactions Form. This is what you're going to be using, and you can write on it. Now there's something different about this form. For each transaction this time, I'm going to go over to the far right. You need to put a transaction description for each transaction. So, for example, the very first one, I'll go back to your problem. Jeff Edwards invested the following in the firm: cash $12,400, office supplies $700, and office equipment $4,500. So that's a compound transaction. So you have to make sure that you come here and you can put in $12,400, and then the next one is office supplies $700, and let's go back to the other one, and office equipment $4,500. Okay, so now we have this side of the equation, and he invested, so in capital you will put $17,600 because that is the sum of the assets that he put into the business. And remember, you have to make the transaction equal on both sides. So if you have assets that add up to $17,600, then you have to have something on the other side of, remember our equal sign, to make the accounting transaction balance. So since he made an investment, it would be Jeff Edwards Capital. Now we will go to the transaction description, and we can just say investment. Okay? Now the next one, I think, is an expense: paid rent for the month, $550. So, and again, I forgot something. You have to say whether it's increasing or decreasing. So, let's add our addition signs onto our numbers. And the next transaction is paid rent for the month, $550. So, in the second transaction, you're going to reduce cash $550 because you're paying rent and you're paying it out of cash. Notice you don't have a balance after each transaction in this problem. You're going to do the balance when you finish it. So then the next one is you have rent, and then you, in the transaction description, you need to say rent expense, because you will need to know this when you prepare your financial statements. So that is the first part of your assignment. The second part, I'm going to go over here. The next one, because you have a 4-part assignment. The next one is you are going to prepare an income statement. Now, the way you get your information is you're going to come back to this form that you are preparing. And when you get to the bottom of the form, you're going to use these balances because you're going to total each item on your transactions. And then you're going to take these totals from these accounts, and then you're going to prepare your financial statements because you're coming up with the information now. So, to come back here, you're going to complete an income statement for Jeff Edwards CPA. You'll use this form, you'll click, and you will make a copy. And it will automatically make a copy. Now, what you need to do is to come up here, and you're going to rename the form. Okay? And that's what you'll do. And then remember, the first one you prepare is the income statement. And you always start out with the name of the company. The next line is the name of the financial statement. So this is an income statement. And then remember, the third line is the time period. And since this is an income statement, you're going to tell the time period. It's for the month ended, and then it will be September 30th, 2020. And then you will go on and you will do your income statement. Then, after you complete the income statement, you will upload it. It will be a file upload. And you will upload it into Canvas. Then the next one, you will prepare a statement of owner's equity the same way. You're going to use this form. You'll make a copy. Then you're going to change the name to Jeff Edwards CPA Statement of Owner's Equity. And then you're going to complete the Statement of Owner's Equity using the information that you complete in your transaction analysis. And also remember, you will need the numbers off of your income statement to go on your statement of owner's equity. And then the final statement that you will do will be the balance sheet. And same thing. The form to use is the same blank financial statement form. You'll open it up and it will make a copy. You're going to change the name of the document to Jeff Edwards CPA Balance Sheet. And then you're going to complete the balance sheet for the month using the information that you have gotten from your transaction analysis, and you will use some numbers from the statement of owner's equity. So make sure that you do that completely and in the right order, because remember, you use your income statement numbers on your statement of owner's equity, and then you use your statement of owner's equity numbers on your balance sheet. Remember, this is a summative assessment, so do your best work. Also, if you get stuck and you need help, remember you always have your helpful resources module located at the top of our class in Canvas. You have your Nature of Accounting, your textbook that has each transaction, a sample of each transaction, an example shown for you. You also have your guide for financial statement preparation, and it will show you how to, what items go on the income statement, what go on the statement of owner's equity, and what goes on the balance sheet, and how you title them. Make sure that you do this in proper format to get full credit for it. Also, you have more information. If you need help on the transactions, you have your expanded accounting equation here. Because remember, for each transaction, you need at least 2 entries, because you have to make this accounting equation balance in every time. Assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. So remember that what you do to one side of the equal sign, you do to the other side. And one more piece of information for your information. You have summarizing the transactions, and here is an example of how each of the transactions are written. Notice what you do on one side, you do on the other. You have everything is balanced because you have at least 2 transactions or 2 items for each transaction. So make sure you do that. Also notice that this example shows an example of the descriptions, and this is how you will do yours. You will add descriptions. Now, one thing to remember is make sure, for example, that you have your expenses, that you list those separately, because you will need those for your income statement. And remember, this is a summative assignment, so do your best work.